is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1011, and it's a Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Texas, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
I don't know where you are. I know you're in the States somewhere.
Houston.
Okay. And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, and mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've got some pep in my step. I've got a smile on my face. It is my favorite time of the year. NBA basketball is officially back.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. We have LeBron making excuses and Russ throwing bricks and Steph Curry shooting from the rafters.
Dude, I was walking into the arena with Cohen and singing that at almost full volume. He was so embarrassed. It was great.
Was you for
But
real?
I was literally walking through the halls. I was walking through the halls singing it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's true. I was embarrassing my kid, man.
Who did y'all play opening night?
Opening night, we played your Detroit Pistons in Detroit, but our home opening night, we played the Celtics on Saturday. So it's fun. We're back. We're back, baby.
I was very excited because the morning after the first games were played on primetime, which was a great lineup, by the way.
Last Wednesday, yeah.
With the Sixers and the Celtics and Golden State and the Lakers. That morning, I showed up and I was doing my normal kind of scrolling on IG while I was drinking my coffee, and it was some brand I follow posted a clip of John Tesh live at Red Rocks playing Round Ball Rock. Now, he is dressed and he is dressed like he is the proprietor of like an old Western saloon. I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm gonna pull up the clips and send it around while we talk. I mean, he's dressed as if if he's like really into like early 90s stage magic. He has a fantastic outfit on. It is an electric atmosphere for people at Red Rocks. I was thinking, like, out of all-time great live music moments, seeing John Tesh play Round Ball Rock live at Red Rocks at peak, John Tesh era, that has to be top 5 live music moments of our lifetime.
So, question: have y'all heard the proposed new theme song? For the
ESPN NBA?
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible. Do you like it?
It's trash. It's trash dookie.
Okay, I was gonna say okay, thank you.
Like,
I didn't want to insult you if like your friend made it or something.
Look, I'm like,
It's
man,
terrible.
hey, listen, sometimes it's certain stuff that you just don't touch. You don't touch it. You just let it just be. Like, I don't want you to change the theme music for the NBA. I want to keep it the same, like, forever.
Right.
I'm talking about until we die or until Jesus comes back. If you believe in the rapture and Jesus comes back, if they have NBA basketball in heaven, I want it to have the same theme song. Like, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they doing.
I don't know either, man.
Guys, I just shared with you guys a clip, and it takes a minute because John Tesh doesn't just jump right into this thing. There's a little bit of pump up time, which is absolutely necessary. I encourage you
we're gonna play
guys
it right
to
now.
watch this clip. Okay.
He really does look like a stage magician.
He looks like I said, he owns a saloon in like 1780, in like Cheyenne, Wyoming. That there was a gunfight outside, and now he's getting ready to be the dealer at a high stakes cash game for poker at this saloon.
What in the world am I watching?
This is the NBA on NBC theme song. The 90s, man. This was the theme song of NBA basketball. John Tesh wrote it.
This is one of the greatest live music performances of our lifetime.
Praise the Lord for John Tesh. Just want to let you know. Like,
Hey, I'll tell you what. Like, we've interviewed a lot of celebrities over the years, but I've never been nervous for an interview on this podcast the way I was when we did an entire hour with John Tesh, like 10 years ago. Like, we literally started. I researched that thing. We did a long form podcast interview with John Tesh. It was incredible. Do you remember that, Jesse?
I would say it's the definitive John Tesh interview, just because by virtue of him probably only being interviewed 5 or 6 other times. I don't know anyone's ever talked to John Tesh for a solid hour before. But what a delight. What a legend.
Yo. This is crazy.
Yeah. So Derek, you probably a lot of people remember John Tesh best for his work on Entertainment Tonight back, being an anchor.
That's all I know him for. I'm going to be honest. I had no clue that he wrote that song. I had
dude, he's a musician.
I also just went on Wikipedia and found out that he was a news anchor for WSMV in Nashville, Tennessee, before Entertainment Tonight.
There you go.
What a life. What a life.
So shout out to John Tesh.
And in Southern California, in our interview with him, the definitive John Tesh interview, which happened 10 or 12 years ago.
Definitive.
He told us that in the 80s, when Top Gun was this big thing, guys playing basketball or volleyball shirtless on the beach, he actually was in a beach volleyball league with Yanni, and they played beach volleyball in Southern California shirtless. John Tesh was Top Gun, is what I'm trying to say. John Tesh is an Adonis among men. He wrote the best song of all time.
Yes.
And, he's a legend. So
it really
basketball's back, baby.
Yeah, it really is. I encourage people, if they haven't seen John Tesh live at Red Rocks, particularly the performance of Round Ball Rock, it'll make you an NBA fan. Like, I don't care if you're completely agnostic about basketball. It will make you want to go throw up.
Who has not said a thing in 12 minutes.
Yeah, Emily, why is basketball your favorite sport?
Here's the thing. A couple weeks ago, y'all let me talk about Harry Styles all I want, and that was great. This is y'all's Harry Styles moment. I'm here. I support y'all. You talk about it.
Hey,
woo, go sports.
Here's how hard I'm trying. Here's how hard I'm trying to get Emily to care. I took her and some other friends to the NBA draft night at the Orlando's arena, where we picked the number 1 pick, Paolo Banchero. And like, Emily was there. I was like, maybe if she can be here and experience it and get in her blood, she'll like have some interest. Yeah, she enjoyed the snacks. And
I want you to know,
socializing.
I posted photos on my Instagram story, and I think I even put the caption like, "LOL, why am I here?" I had multiple friends message me, "No, really, Emily, why are you at a draft event?" Like, they just know, like, why are you there?
No.
I really have nothing against sports. It's just not for me. My dad is a really big sports fan, and I think he literally prayed that his children would be sports fans. He didn't pray hard enough, because my brother and I just really couldn't care less.
Your brother doesn't care either?
But again, no. We like pop culture and like music and like movies and stuff like that. But sports just kind of, it was just sad because we live in Texas, which is like a pretty big sporty state. But
Yeah. Well,
but again, I support you. Have your passions. I have
She's
mine.
like, go guys.
Go shoot the ball. Woo.
You mentioned you're into pop culture and music, and I'm yet to hear your reaction to the very confident statement that John Tesh performing the NBA theme song, Round Ball Rock at Red Rocks from the 90s, far, far outweighs every performance Harry Styles has ever even attempted.
I didn't realize we were sharing false news here.
Bro, you should have, hold on, talk about, you should have seen Emily's face when he said that. Like, she has a great poker face.
Look,
it cracked for like 0.2 seconds. The poker face was gone. She was like,
my little eyebrow twitch.
Here's the thing. I guarantee you, if I went out on this street right here, there's people walking up and down the street, and I had my phone and I played or I played, like Watermelon Sugar, and I would say, which one of these songs do you recognize and do you think you'll be listening to for the rest of your life?
Got a point.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it depends on who we're talking to as well. I will say that is a factor. year.
America.
There is a basketball song I like. Back in like 2001, Aaron
Post
Carter released a
Malone.
song called
Oh.
"That's How I Beat Shaq." I still know all the
Emily
words to it. That's a
Brown.
pretty good one.
Emily Brown. Emily Shaquika Brown. You take that back right now. You are grounded.
Aaron Carter.
You
My
are grounded.
gosh, thank you.
Emily Shaquisha Brown. You are grounded.
Oh my gosh. Well, again, great time of year. Fall's here. Weather's nice. Basketball's on. It's awesome. Derek's coming down in a week or so to go to the Warriors game with me.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna yell at Draymond Green.
No,
Gonna be
I'm
fun.
not yelling at Draymond Green.
You don't want to get punched.
You're
He'll-
gonna yell
he'll
at
punch you
Draymond
right in the throat.
and I'm gonna
He'll
watch.
punch you right in
And
the
Derek's
throat.
just gonna stand there.
Derek's just gonna egg me
Yes,
on.
I'm
That's
gonna,
what he's
all I'm
gonna
gonna
do.
do is keep the milkshakes flowing, and that's what we.
That's a good mix with taunting Draymond Green. Yeah, that's a great combo of ingredients.
I'm not trying to get punched in the face.
Draymond actually is one of the ones that he'll give it back to you playfully. Like, so he's fun to kind of like mess with during the games. It's the guys who get all worked up and get too serious that aren't fun, like KD and Russ and guys like that. They just take it too seriously.
If there's one thing we know about Draymond recently, it's that he's not going to get worked up and take things too seriously and escalate things. So I think you
Not
guys
at
will
all.
be totally fine. It's very personal.
He's a
Oh,
Zen
man.
master.
Well,
Draymond, the Zen master.
one way or the other, it's going to be a memorable night. So we'll make sure of it. All right. Well, moving the show along, we have a great show in store. Dr. Dharius Daniels joins us later. He has a new book out. He's a friend of the show. You know him, one of the best speakers out there. Don't miss that. We also have your feedback at the end. You won't want to miss it. It's hilarious. You guys brought it this week. But stay tuned right now. Tyler joins us for Relevant Buzz.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby, and I'm a monster.
You're listening to Taylor Swift. The song is Anti-Hero. A very popular album in the Relevant offices. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold.
Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Please welcome to the show from Paris, France, Relevant senior editor Tyler Huckabee. Hey, Tyler.
Bonjour, everybody.
What's going on this week?
Okay, so first up, I'm curious about everybody's thoughts on this, but I'm especially curious about Derek's thoughts on this because
Oh no!
Derek is somebody. Yeah, no. This I don't think it's gonna get you in trouble or anything. I mean, I don't know the future. Maybe it'll get you in trouble, but I'm curious to get some of your thoughts on this because we're gonna be talking about the Grammys for a second here.
Okay.
Now last year at the Grammys, the band Silk Sonic, which is the like that super group with Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, they took home 4 Grammys for their single "Leave the Door Open." It was Best R&B Song, Best R&B Performance, Song of the Year, and Record of the Year. Now their album wasn't out yet, so the album wasn't eligible for any Grammys yet, but the single was already out, so the single was eligible for Grammys, and it cleaned up. Now the album is out. It is eligible for this year's Grammys, but they are not submitting it for any Grammy consideration this year. And they were asked about this by Rolling Stone. Bruno Mars was asked about this in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, and he said, "And Jason, you might need to keep your you might need a trigger finger on the bleep button here. I'm not sure, just see, but this might be a little bit relevant after dark here." But Bruno Mars said, "We truly put our all on this record, but Silk Sonic would like to gracefully, humbly, and most importantly, sexually bow out of submitting our album this year. We hope we can celebrate with everyone on a great year of music and partake in the party afterwards. Thank you for letting Silk Sonic thrive." So nothing too, sounds like no hard feelings there. They weren't mad. Nobody was saying anything bad about it. But this does join sort of a little bit of a small, but pretty significant, broader movement of artists who don't seem interested in Grammys anymore. They, for example, Frank Ocean is not involved in the Grammys anymore. He does not submit anything that he does to the Grammys. The Weeknd very publicly took his album out of Grammy consideration. He says he's boycotting them altogether. Those guys have accused the Grammys of racial bias in the past. Now, that didn't come up in the statement from Silk Sonic, but it's hard not to look at this and say it looks like it's part of a broader trend of artists being like, I'm just not sure the Grammys are important to my career anymore. I don't know that it would do anything for me.
Derek Minor, 2-time Grammy winner Derek Minor, what are your thoughts?
It might be hard because I'm actually on the board here in Nashville for the Grammy. So I'm not gonna get in trouble at all because they know I always keep it real. So to me, the Silk Sonic thing doesn't seem like a boycott thing. It feels more like the wave is over. Because think about it, if you just cleaned up 4 Grammys for a song, but the album wasn't eligible, like when's the last time y'all put Silk Sonic on and vibe to it, right? So to me, it feels like more like, okay, we won. We may not have won with the album, but we already won for this collective body of work. The world has somewhat moved on from the Silk Sonic thing because we also know Grammys are a popularity contest. Like it's based on votes. It's based on people voting. So if I was in the same position, I would think the same way that, maybe I might just the story for this is that we won 4 Grammys off of this record, as opposed to we won 4, then we came back again being greedy for seconds, and then we didn't win any. So to me, that feels that way. And I think as far as the people boycotting the Grammys, like everything has some validity, man. Like the Grammys a huge organization and they get it wrong. And they got it wrong a couple times and people didn't take kindly to it. And, but one thing I can say about the Grammys, at least I can say the Nashville chapter, is they took the feedback and they tried to adjust. So when you look at our chapter in Nashville is one of the most diverse chapters, I think, just period. You got all different colors, all different ages. Yeah. So it's pretty diverse. People and we speak and all those different things. So is there room for improvement and growth? Absolutely. But the reality is it's just in America. Is there room for improvement and growth and diversity in America? Absolutely. So the Grammys are not excluded from the desire, the need to diversify and grow. Like they're not excluded. It's what it is,
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So like with the Oscars, for example, you see studios choose to release movies at a time when they think is going to be favorable to Oscar voters. It's going to be like fresh on their minds. If we release a movie in November, December, that's when people are kind of thinking about the Oscars. So we'll drop it then for the voters. You said the Grammys can be kind of a popularity contest. And maybe Silk Sonic felt like they missed the window with the album, but not with the single. Does that factor into like album release schedules? Are people thinking about Grammy voters when they decide when the album is actually going to drop?
I think some do, for sure. I think those that know they have the engine to be able to create that kind of wave, I think they do. Like a lot of the labels, especially when it comes to breaking new artists and artists that, you know, that have a trajectory that looks really, really good. I could definitely see them using that. Like, people can say what they want to say about Grammys and its relevance, but there's no, I mean, it is the Grammys. It's still relevant. But we also live in a world where some people, like Drake, I mean, he's the biggest artist. Like, he's one of the biggest artists, period. You know what I'm saying? In history to ever make music. So maybe to him, the Grammys may not have the level of relevancy that, you know, that we would want it to. But for others, man, shoot, a Grammy is still a life-changing award in the right category. You get Album of the Year or New Artist of the Year, it could really change your life. Still relevant for sure.
And I feel like, to their credit, they're actually one of the award shows that's actually still kind of fun to watch, because they'll do these, you know, kind of live collaborations and sort of montage, you know, like they'll bring some unexpected artists together, where when you watch the Oscars these days, it is such a snooze. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'd rather watch a PTA meeting. Like, you know, it is one of those things where at least the Grammys have kept it entertaining, because music's supposed to be fun, you know?
Yeah, I think some of it too is also the medium. You know, like the Grammys, because it's music, it's allowed. I mean, live performances are a part of it. So regardless of what you feel about the awards, you get to see these crazy live performances that are dope. Like, what can the Oscars do to, besides the awards and saying this person won and that person didn't? I don't know what they could add.
They should make them act out scenes live on stage. From, you know, make the actual actors perform them as stage plays. Yeah.
When they do sound editing, I want to see a full Foley stage, and I want to see Foley artists doing all the sound effects up there. I mean, you know, that's what we want.
Yeah, I want to see the 2 coconuts, you know, for the horse race.
Wow, give him an award. That's amazing.
Look at this man. Or woman.
I don't know how you adapt, but you know, that's what the Grammys, and that's what music has, is, man, you can never replace the live performance. The live performance of music is always going to be relevant. I don't care, metaverse or whatever. Like, it's something electric about seeing people able to perform their music live and have that connection, and that's what the edge that the Grammys has on the other award shows, in my opinion.
The only fun thing about, and I had forgotten about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing, but the only fun thing about the Oscars is when, like, the host is roasting actors who never who are surrounded themselves by people who just puff themselves up, and you have like some, you know, wicked, you know, some host just like totally roasting people, and they just have to sit there with a grin on their face and take it. Like, that's
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, that's the only fun thing about those. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, let's not take these people too seriously. I feel like musicians, sort of as a default, a lot of them don't already take themselves to, like, they still remember that listening to music is fun. Mm-hmm. Like, some of the Oscar movies feel like you're watching homework too. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, some of them it's like, oh gosh, man, I got to find 2.5 hours to watch this, you know, this critically acclaimed, you know, war reflection film. It's like, where with the Grammys, it's like any album that, you know, wins a Grammy, it's like, hey, I'm gonna pop that on. I you know, I just gonna vibe out, you know?
Yeah, and I think too, like the Oscars, where they blown it, and the camera may disagree with this, but you know, like, you can't exclude a whole genre of a film that people love and say, hey, we're going to discriminate against this, like the superhero and the action movies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, people like that stuff. Like, you have to, people want to tune in to see their heroes win. So, like, you know, if I'm not tuning into the Oscars if I already know, you know, hey, I like Spider-Man, but I know he doesn't even have a snowball's chance in hell of winning anything. So it's like, why would I watch? My favorite thing is not going to even get a shot at anything.
Like, Top Gun Maverick was the biggest movie of the year for sure, but it is not going to win Best Picture.
No. Not at all.
But here's what would help the Oscars. If they force the actors, they don't have to reenact scenes, but they force them to go in costume and in character. Okay, so Tom Cruise
cosplay situation.
exactly.
Yeah,
No, but they're
yeah,
actually
that's Comic-Con,
they're in
man.
character for the entirety of the ceremony for whatever film they're nominated.
Okay,
for.
that's pretty funny.
You're telling
That'd
me
be
you're
good.
not watching that?
So if they accept, they have to accept as the character.
Yes, yeah. I just feel like that.
And
would
then they could have a roving mic, kind of do some crowd work and all that kind of stuff. That would be entertaining, you know.
That's
So
what I'm
if you
saying.
had- what if you're
Everyone
like
will
The
watch
Rock
it.
and you have like 6 movies coming out this year?
Whichever
like, what
one you're
character do you
nominated
pick?
for.
Well, The Rock plays the same
Yeah,
character. in
The
every
Rock is
movie,
The Rock,
so it's
yeah.
really fine.
Yeah.
He can do a costume change and just change out his brown button down shirt.
Hold
A different
on,
one.
he's wearing
And it'll
tights
be
now.
fine.
He has some tights on.
Right.
Ooh, listen.
He'll do the black tights under the cargo pants and the button down olive green shirt.
I feel like this. If actors knew they had to show up to an award in character, they would probably select roles a little differently. You know, like
Andy Serkis isn't going to be taking as many CGI roles if he knows that he has to.
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo
Does he just
has
come
to
out
come
in
as
the
the Hulk.
mocap? Or do they have to? Do they come out in a mocap fit like with the green things or the little?
Or it's like when Benedict Cumberbatch like won for Small or whatever that dragon nerd thing from one of the Hobbit nerd movies. Like he would have to crawl around in the motion capture like that little wetsuit with the ping pong balls and on all fours. I'm telling you, it would make it so much more watchable. You know?
Dang.
It's true. All right. What else? What else do you have, Tyler?
We're going to do a little bit of myth busting. I'm always a fan of taking some media narratives that emerge and poking holes in them, and I want to see. And this one is just so ridiculous. I'm sure that the relevant podcast listeners, nobody has fallen for this story that's going around, but I still think it's worth tackling and kind of seeing where this one comes from. Has anybody heard this story or this rumor or this line about litter boxes in public high schools? Do you guys know what I'm talking about here?
I do know what you're referring to.
Okay.
I have no clue, but I have a feeling that it's some weird white people stuff.
So very briefly, because I don't think we need to, like I said, I think most people can see right through this one, but a line has been passed around. It has been, according to an NBC News investigation, 20 politicians have now parroted this line about how public schools have gone so off the rails these days, and teachers are so like into the, trying to be mamby-pamby with their little moral relativist students that if a kid chooses to identify as a cat, they have put a litter box in the public high school restroom to accommodate this person's, their identification as a cat. Now, obviously, this is not true. This NBC investigation has found no evidence that there are any litter boxes in any high schools. That probably isn't surprising to you. There actually, I need to restate that. They did actually find evidence. And this is actually a little bit sad, but it's true. There is a school in Jefferson County in Colorado, which has been storing small quantities of cat litter in go buckets since 2017, along with candy for diabetic students, a school map, flashlights, wet wipes, and first aid items in case of a school shooting. So there is some suggestion that might have been where somebody said there's cat litter in this public high school and this is actually the district where Columbine is, that there was, that there's cat litter in the schools. That starts getting passed around. Somehow some Colorado politician turns it into a thing and it starts.
So cat litter is to clean up blood, right? That's the point of the cat litter is.
They had it in the corner of the classroom. So like if there's a lockdown because of school shooting situation, there's candy for diabetics and there's a go bucket for students who have a bathroom emergency because they're being locked down because of a shooting. So like one school in the country has this as an emergency preparation thing, and conservatives have turned it into liberalization of.
Yeah, we should probably bring this up in the next presidential debate. This seems like an issue that,
the cat litter, the single instance of cat litter in go buckets.
Yeah. But again, that's just a microcosm of a lot of quote unquote hot button issues that no one actually deals with. You know what I mean? You could name various ones that, people act like are this big deal that suddenly are part of the national dialogue when
the train of immigrants coming up the Central America, they're going to storm our border.
Yeah,
remember the fear mongering around all that?
Yeah, or even something like critical race theory and elementary school curriculum, like things that it's just objectively this isn't something that people are encountering. But if you kind of inject it into the narrative, it seems to take over whether or not their evidence supports it actually being an issue that people are dealing with.
Right. So that's what we're here for, is to myth bust. We're going to take those. So at Thanksgiving dinner, when your crazy uncle brings up the litter boxes, you now, dear listener, are informed of how to rebut him and put him in his place. So there you go.
Exactly. That's it. Now you've got the tools you need, and all sorts of other tools. RelevantMagazine.com. This is kind of a hobby horse that we do get on there because I think it's important. And Joe Rogan said this actually on his podcast, and he said it as a fact, as something that he knew to be true. And these are people that people take seriously. So if something sounds, as always, if something sounds too crazy to be true, it probably is. And you can find out what the real truth is by going to relevantmagazine.com, where we have surely debunked it.
Nice plug.
Surely debunked it.
All right. What else do you have?
I did want to give a shout out to our friends Colony House. Colony House has a new album in the works, and they released their new single called Landlocked Surf Rock. It's a good tune that I enjoyed. Here's a clip. Always looking forward to a new album from those guys.
There you go. Well, before we wrap the segment, we have some news, listeners. This is Tyler's last Relevant Buzz as part of the podcast. He is moving on from Relevant after 10 years of creating amazing content with us, amazing memories. He's moving on to his next career chapter, and we just want to thank him publicly for everything he's poured into this place, and we're going to miss you a lot, buddy. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Cameron, and thanks you guys. This is one of my favorite parts of the job, and love the listeners, and obviously love this team and the staff. And it's been a fun ride. It's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to see what comes next for y'all. I appreciate you letting me hang out here for as long as you have.
Wait, Tyler, you're leaving?
So yeah, Emily, we need to have a meeting.
Relax.
Emily, there's a meeting after.
Oh, I meant to tell you.
sorry.
Quick,
I've been making that joke for weeks, and it's still so funny to me.
Emily, when you guys get done with the recording, just can you hit me up on the Slack real fast?
We have some things to chat about.
Yeah.
Tyler, man. Yeah. Well, obviously we'll stay in touch, but
No. He'll be dead to all of us.
Nope, change my number. Won't be easy to find anymore.
He's abandoning us.
well, in that case, I'm glad one of your last slices was about fake litter boxes. So
That feels right.
I wanted something. Yeah,
Feels right. Feels right.
went down with a bang. Yeah.
He went down the way he came in, talking about litter boxes and us. Doing what he loves.
All right, man. We wish you the best.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for everything. Yeah, stay tuned. Up next, everyone, Dharius Daniels joins us. You're listening to Bobbing and Maddie J. The song is Marie.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now, wherever books are sold.
Well, our guest today is Dr. Dharius Daniels. He's a pastor and certified emotional intelligence specialist who helps people self-optimize without self-destructing. And I can vouch this man is a friend. Emily spoke with him about finding your greater purpose in life and how you can stay on your own track while not making comparisons to the people around you. Here's our conversation with Dr. Dharius Daniels.
We're here to talk about your new book, which is called Your Purpose is Calling. So I'd love to start off with maybe just talking about what the general idea of the book is about.
Yeah, the name is a bit deceptive.
Yeah.
I wanted to call the book, Who Do You Think You Are?
A little more direct.
A little more direct, but I think that the publisher was right that we needed to probably explore a different title. But the emphasis is on the word. I mean, purpose is important, but the emphasis is on the word your. Your, because the subtitle is Your Difference is Your Destiny. And so the book really has in mind people like me or people who are going through a season like me, where you are kind of questioning your own contribution, where you were really tempted to conform to like whatever was popular, quote unquote, successful in culture. Those who kind of wondered if what you have and who you are is actually enough. And I have been there. I've been there recently, and I really wanted to write a book that was almost like a reflection of my journey, what I kind of went through to move from that place to where I feel like I am now, and to help people understand that you are enough and that you haven't been created just to make a difference in the world. You've been created to make your difference.
You mentioned that this is something that you'd kind of recently been on. Can you go a little more into what happened?
I began to experience and I use this word loosely, but what some people would call in our circles a degree of success, or maybe fruitfulness or influence, etc. But one of the things that I learned is like, as I became richer in like quote unquote fruitfulness, I didn't become equally richer in fulfillment. So it's like fruitful, but I felt like something is still missing here. And I kind of went on this internal journey of trying to figure out, what is it? Like, why do I feel like something's missing? And it was weird because I felt like I was like grateful and frustrated at the same time. Like I didn't want to be unappreciative and ungrateful of what God had chosen to do with my life. Yet at the same time, I didn't want to be disingenuous, because it's like, I'm still feeling a degree of frustration. I'm feeling like something's missing, and the something that's missing is not more of this other stuff. Whatever this other stuff is, like influence, platforms, etc. It's like, I know more of this won't fix that. Like, I don't know of another one to get on. You know what I mean? It's like, I've been on all of them. And one of the things that I just really did, man, is I just went on this journey, and obviously I had coaches and, spiritual leaders in my life that kind of helped me see that to a part. It was well-meaning, but I was dealing with what I call like some authenticity repression. What does that mean? It just means that I don't think I wasn't bringing my full authentic self. And me was like, my authentic self might not work. I like to think. I don't want people to have to leave their brains in the car when they come into church, and and I want to talk about things that are actually impacting people's lives, and then I always inspiring, and just inspiring, and just kind of went on that journey, discovered what the disconnect was, and then had to conjure up the courage to actually make the pivot. And through a series of events, I was able to do that. I'm so grateful for it, because now I'm in a season of my life where I see fruitfulness, but there's fulfillment.
It's so interesting to hear you talk about that, because it seems like, or it's clear that there's like a multi-step process. Like, first you had to identify there was something wrong, then identify what you wanted to change, and then, like you said, have the courage to do it. So I want to talk about that courage part. Where did you find the strength to do that? Because I think a lot of people, they want to do something new, but they get really scared and they get really wrapped up, and they just end up not doing it.
Of course, courage in Christ. So I'm not diminishing that. That's important. But I also found it in community. I found it in my relationships. And this is what I mean. I was amazed at how when I became aware of what was happening in me, and when I articulated that to people that I love and trusted, that there were some of them, not all, and that's a different conversation, but there were some of them who saw that, who recognized that, who affirmed that, and were really great at encouraging that. And so I think my courage was conjured up from the community, the people I was in relationship with and being vulnerable and transparent with. And that just kind of gave me what I need. I'm not saying it diminished the fear. I'm not saying it even decreased the fear, but it encouraged me to take some steps in spite of fear.
I think that is something that a lot of people really wrestle with. They have this idea, they feel like it's where they need to be going, and someone that they do trust, or they had trusted at some point, tries to discourage it or just voices some concerns. And how do you balance listening to someone's caution but still moving forward with confidence in what you're doing?
For me, some of the voices that had different opinions were, like I said, proven voices in my life, meaning they demonstrated a genuine interest and love for me. So I listened and I considered, but then I had to be emotionally honest with myself and say, now, after taking and because I felt like they loved me greatly, their words weighed heavily on me. I seriously took them into consideration. There are some people's words that didn't weigh as heavily, because I didn't think they knew enough about me to have an educated perspective, or they hadn't demonstrated that they had a genuine interest and love for me. But for those that did, I weighed, I considered, and then I just had to be intellectually and emotionally honest with myself and say, okay, have I done what I think to be the wise and the biblical thing? And that is to get counsel. But it is counsel. It's what it is. I'm accountable for the decision that I make. And I had to be intellectually and emotionally honest and say, now that you've gotten counsel and you got various perspectives, let them contribute to the decision that you make, but don't let them determine the decision that you make.
Well,
because ultimately you are the one, Dharius, in your family that has to deal with the consequences or lack thereof of this decision. So that would kind of be my encouragement, my advice to people. kind of don't weigh all voices equally.
Mhm.
But even when it comes to those voices that weigh the most, let them contribute, but not determine the decision that you make.
That was Dr. Dharius Daniels. Make sure to stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
You may shake your head, but that's a fact of life. The mind can take you on a scenic drive. But you may wait to find that this was in your eyes. So when you wait,
You're listening to Bibio and Olivier St. Louis. The song is SOL. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we asked you, I don't know how we got on the topic. Do you guys remember?
Oh, we were talking about the I Heart Hot Youth Pastor.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
in Costa Rica, so I missed the show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a
but this
youth
is
pastor
crazy.
handed out these I Heart Hot Youth Pastor stickers to his youth
Yeah.
students.
Yeah. I heart
So-
hot youth pastors. He gave these stickers out to his youth group
I
and parents,
love
of course.
hot youth pastors.
Yeah, imagine your
Yeah.
youth pastor handing that to your 14-year-old self.
The meme, there's a meme.
Again, some people had a problem with this. Some snowflakes out there.
There's a thing on TikTok where like guys will wear like a shirt that or like college guys will wear a shirt that says like I love hot moms, and then like they'll film them going out and like is talking to older, middle-aged ladies or
Hot
whatever.
moms.
Whatever. It's a thing. So this youth pastor thought he would tap into that, and he did I heart hot youth pastors, and he made stickers of it, and it went as badly as you could imagine.
Here's where we landed on it. We could only determine if this was really offensive by observing the hotness of the youth pastor. If he was low on that scale, we would determine it was harmless, ironic. If he's hot, we got a problem here. That's where we landed on
Derek,
this.
he was like in
So-
his mid-30s and married and stuff.
He was, like,
Like it was
35.
just not a smart thing at all, and it went
But
very badly
does he-
anyway.
Does he not realize that there's like a bunch of investigations with youth pastors
He does now.
and their kids?
Yeah, it was just stupid all the way around. So, hey, we asked you guys the weirdest thing. Now, maybe not, we didn't want to go there where Derek was going, but just the weirdest thing your youth pastor ever did when you were growing up. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcasts, and there's some wild stories.
Why do
All
youth
right.
pastors exist?
Jeremy said that the weirdest thing was he had a youth pastor dress up as Marty McFly, wig included, for a special, quote, sermon illustration based on Back to the Future. He says, we even had a DeLorean in the parking lot, which was actually pretty cool. I'm going to venture to say this. Sermon illustrations do nothing to drive home a point. Like, you could just tell me how this relates to the film Back to the Future without being dressed up by Marty McFly and driving DeLorean to church. I'm going to go as far as to say is that sermon illustrations are basically the prop comedy of theology. They're just, it shows... It shows you're reaching a little. Like, no one thinks Carrot Top is a great comedian or Gallagher was a great comedian because they had to, they had a trunk full of props that they were utilizing the whole time. Pastors, do not be the Carrot Top of preaching. This is totally unnecessary here.
So Ike the Cinco says he taking kids across the country in a van for 2 weeks and wouldn't tell anyone, even the parents, where they were going. So you got kidnapped, is what you're saying.
See, I told Cameron I was nervous about this question because I was like, we're going to uncover something illegal and I'm going to feel responsible. Like I need to call the cops. And I saw that one and I was like, this is a kidnapping and crossing state lines. I assume they don't finish the story, so I hope they're okay.
Becky Berg said that her youth pastor pretended to shoot a girl that he didn't know with a BB gun at summer camp. But then he actually did shoot her with the BB gun. And so they had to call the pastor and sent the youth pastor home from summer camp. And then he also painted the floor of the gym and painted himself into a corner. So I'm thinking this wasn't the smartest Smartest of youth pastors. This guy doesn't think things through.
Yeah, that seems like two pretty big strikes. Either one of those, should have been final straw there. I think even just having pretended to shoot a teenager, I think is a pretty
especially
big
a visiting one that he didn't even know. Like, why are you picking on the new girl? Anyway,
John said that he was a part of a small church and they had a youth bowling trip. And two of the girls met some guys there and decided to leave with them. But the youth pastor wasn't having it. So he loaded the rest of the youth group into a van and an actual car chase ensued down the interstate for 30 miles. He never did get the girls to come back with us. That feels like a movie that I would watch, I'll be honest.
Sergio said his youth pastor just talked nonstop about how he didn't like the teens. So maybe you should change your line of work.
That checks out. Yeah. We've all been there.
Sam Waldron says, I was in college helping at a 5th and 6th grade week of church camp in Kentucky. Kentucky is different, y'all. Just before we just look, can we just pin it? Kentucky is like borderline Florida, but we'll keep going. The
Florida with hills. That's what it is. It's Florida with hills.
Right. That's right. Okay. So the youth pastor threw a fake rapture and told the volunteers to play along. At 12 a.m., the power turned off and they corralled the kids outside, and a cosplay of Gabriel read off the names of the campers who were already saved. This is the most traumatic thing
5th and 6th grade. Also, how do you pick which kid is saved and which one isn't?
That one kid mouthed off a little bit in the van on the way there. So
straight to hell.
It's arguably the most spiritual, manipulative thing that you could possibly do to someone is staging an angelic intervention into their life.
Dog, this is so bad. It's funny. I'm not even laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because this is traumatic. Like, it's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I know all of these responses, y'all. I hope y'all are all in some good therapy because this is rough.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, all things considered, Casey's story seems kind of charming. They said, we did a youth event that was zombie themed. We choreographed the Thriller dance during a dinner. Some parents took their kids and left. We grew up in Church of Christ. Dancing in church was definitely not allowed. I feel like I need some more context here, but I'm just glad you guys pulled it off, Casey. And the fact that you got some of those fuddy-duddy parents to leave. You don't want, if they can't handle a Thriller dance, you don't want them in there.
Thriller does feel bold for a church. Especially a church that you don't
Church
dance.
of Christ?
Yeah.
Church of Christ, you don't go from no dancing to straight Thriller. You got to there's a lot of steps in between those. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right. Well, there is a lot more where that came from. For real, I second what Emily said. Get y'all in therapy because you guys had some weird church experiences. So anyway, all right. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
So, hey, fall is in the air. Basketball is on TV. Means one thing. Halloween's here. That's what it means. So we want to know. We want to do a little crowdsource help for y'all. We want to help you think of some last minute Halloween costume ideas. Maybe you got invited to a party at the last minute. You didn't have time to go to the store and get the generic, Spirit Halloween, whatever. You want to do something a little bit more original, something a little more creative, a little more now. So we want to ask you, what are you doing? What's some good ideas for a 2022 Halloween costume? It could be a pop culture reference. It could just be some creative thing. Hit us up on Twitter @Relevant Podcast and tell us your best 2022 grown up. I'm not going to say adult. That's weird. Don't go there. I'm just saying, we're not talking little kid costumes. We're talking the ones that we would wear.
Listen,
right?
I'm interested in whatever people want to send me. Okay.
No, I have to see the tweets, so I would like a filter. Actually,
don't send the nudes, please.
I'm just curious. That's all. It's just curiosity.
All right. So Halloween costume ideas for our listeners to wear, not for kids. Anyway, hit us up on Twitter @Relevant Podcast. We'll read our favorites next week and we'll just crowdsource this thing and help you all out. I remember we did this a few years ago and somebody said that they were going as a bunch of grapes and they just blew a bunch of purple balloons and taped them all over their body. And they went as a bunch of grapes. And I was like, that's a great idea. It cost them like $1. Good for them.
I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I would just be like, no, that person just taped balloons to them. That's not, I mean, that's fine, I guess. But like,
I saw a TikTok this week of a girl dressed up as a croc. She built like a life size, not a life size croc, like a body sized croc, and she wore it. She couldn't turn to the side, but it was very interesting.
Man, I do not get why Crocs are so big with high schoolers and middle schoolers all of a sudden. Like, it is like, what is going
nurses, on? It seems like, and dental hygienists. When I walk in, it seems like
and people who work in kitchens, they've always worn black Crocs and stuff. No, I'm saying, like, at my son's school, man, it's like you pin all these little things on them, and like it's just like you customize your Crocs. There's a Crocs store at our mall, and it was just like Cohen couldn't believe it. Like, his mind was blown.
What a comeback! You know,
comeback of the century.
Yeah, I mean, people counted them out. They were the laughing stock, and now like you can buy, Post Malone, exclusive drops on like StockX. Good for Crocs for just powering through. There's
powering through. That's a business strategy. Just power through.
There's hope out there, Jinko. Yeah,
Jinko jeans.
You'll be fine, Ugg boots. You'll be fine, Ugg boots. Just stick in the game, okay?
I don't think Ugg boots went anywhere. It's Christian autumn girl summer. They are autumn girl right now. Anyway, all right. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Dr. Dharius Daniels for joining us today. Make sure to check out his latest book. It's called Your Purpose is Calling. It's available now. Also, make sure to head over to relevantmagazine.com every day to check out our latest content covering the intersection of faith, life, and culture. You can also see our new fall issue featuring conversations with Dayglow, Regina Hall, N.T. Wright, and much more. Also, hey, if you're still listening, hopefully you like the show. And if you do, tell people about it. Wherever you listen, rate it and review it. Share the podcast and put in your stories. Tell people about the new episodes. Help us get word out. We love seeing the feedback, and, it helps the algorithm, when you guys engage it. So there you go. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Derek Miner.
We'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone. Go Magic.
For listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Listen, I'm interested in whatever people want to send in. Okay.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.